Hi guys! So today I'm going to talk about something which I don't know, I've never really been requested directly to talk about that, but I've been getting a lot of questions ever since I came out as asexual on love and who I love and if I've ever loved someone and what kind of love I have for people and if I'm interested in relationships. I think that sometimes it's because people are confused with asexuality and think that because I'm asexual I cannot love people or I'm not interested in relationships. Basically, they think that sexual attraction is what defines your relationships and your love life and stuff like that. And I wanted to talk about the difference between sexual orientation and romantic orientations. It's not something we hear often actually, unless you're talking about asexuality or the asexual spectrum. Those two things are most of the time combined, and in most people's minds they're just one and only thing, meaning you're sexually attracted to the people you're romantically attracted to. While it's sometimes and very often the case, it is not always the case, and it's not the case for everyone. It's a bit of a shame that we're not used and able to, kind of differentiate these two and to have a wider and more complex view on relationships, attractions of any sort, because then it really, I think, diminishes the potential of love that we have, and it also makes some people feel really uneasy, really sad, really broken, really lonely. And I think if we could be a bit more flexible with these topics and those entities, it would be such a beneficial thing for everyone. So I am gray asexual, which means that I'm never or almost never sexually attracted to people. Actually, I have never been sexually attracted to anyone, and I'm not really interested in relationships. That's something I've made clear, I think, multiple times online. I am not really interested in traditional relationships, but that doesn't mean that I'm against them or that I'm not willing one day to be in one of them. And it certainly does not mean that I'm not capable of loving people. However, I love people, I think, in a way that's different from what people would expect or the way that most people love. Honestly, we're so many on this planet, we're so different, so unique, and every relationship is unique and different. I think it's so simplistic to think there's only romantic love and friendship love and sex, and there's more than that to love, simply. I am romantically attracted to everyone, which means not only girls and boys, it means really everyone. Gender does not really mean anything for me when it comes to romantic attraction. Honestly, when it comes to feelings, gender is never and has never been and probably will never be something that matters for me. It's a bit confusing because if I were to describe myself, I would have to say, well, I am gray asexual and pan-romantic, which is long, which is very complex in a way, and which is definitely not familiar for many people. I'm not a big fan of labels, but I understand that in some discussions we need them in order to be understood, and we need them in order to put things in a clear and understandable and logical way for others to understand. If you were to ask me, I would just simply say I'm capable of loving everyone and anyone. I'm interested in people and I'm interested in exploring the idea of relationships. I'm not necessarily looking for I would say a monogamous relationship, and I'm not saying that I'm willing to be with several people at the same time either. I'm not saying I want to be in a traditional relationship, and I'm not saying I'm never going to be in a traditional relationship. I'm just saying I will see when it happens, because I don't know who this person's going to be, and I don't know what this person's going to make me feel like, and I don't know what's going to work the best for this person and I. But if I'm being honest with you, it is not that easy to come to terms with being queer, I suppose. There's already a debate on whether asexual should be on this queer spectrum, which I think they should be on, definitely. I'm not one of those who absolutely wants to see the A come after the LGBTQ. First of all, I'm not a community person, and also because being asexual and being sometimes, I want to say, quite similar to a romantic people, it's after all the absence of desire, and very often for me, the absence of desire to be in a relationship, in a romantic relationship. It's different from being gay or bi. It's very different. I don't feel, like I'm really queer, but at the same time, I'm definitely not straight and sexual. So it's like I don't really know where to put myself. And I understand that it's okay being you, and you don't have to put yourself in anywhere really. In daily life and practical life, and when you're around other people, you definitely need sometimes to place yourself somewhere, and you definitely sometimes feel lonely and isolated if you don't fit anywhere, and if you don't recognize yourself in anyone else or any, representation or references that you can see. It's really difficult for me to explain exactly what I mean by I don't want to be in a traditional relationship, and people sometimes reply to me, but everyone's different, every relationship is unique, it's okay, you're not strange. And I understand that everyone's different, but still, in my view of relationships are very different from most people, and it definitely has to do with me being asexual and being like, I'm not aromantic, but I'm somewhere on the spectrum, I suppose. I'm not fully romantic either. So whenever I meet someone with whom it could potentially happen something, it's always very disheartening and very sad, and sometimes extremely painful, because there's always a point and a time where we completely misunderstand each other, and the other person most of the time rejects me entirely, because it's like, why cannot we have sex? You say you have feelings for me, so sex is a logical step behind that. And it's such a shame, and it's completely not logical and natural, because we have sex without love. So many people have sex without loving each other, or without even having feelings for each other. So why couldn't we have love and feelings without sex? Why is it that sex has to be something we do? I understand that sex is something people like and love, but I don't understand how it's something that people cannot live without. At least I don't understand how it's something people are not willing to compromise on. It's like, I'm definitely not straight, and it's so confusing to be not straight, but at the same time you cannot say you're gay or you're bi or you're pansexual, because you're not. For me, I'm asexual, so it's like I'm asexual, yet I could be aesthetically and romantically attracted to anyone. And for the longest time, I also felt like I was kind of like a gay guy inside of a girl's body, because guys I would be attracted to were most of the time gay or very effeminate, or on the age of transitioning to trans. And it was something strange and confusing to me, because I was like, how and why is it that way for me? Like, why am I able to feel like I could want to get closer with that person when this person should not be the kind of person I should be attracted to? Even though it's never something that I've been told directly, and it's not something that we're told directly very often, at least in France. It's not like, hey, you should be straight, but everything you see is straight. And I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I'm just saying there should be more representations and more diversity, because it's not the case for everyone. There are people who are, we're not like 100% straight, and we're not 100% sexual or asexual or this or that. It fluctuates, and I am myself the expression, I think, of this fluidity. And it's really hard to be in this society when you're not something precise or defined, and when people cannot really identify you as such. Many people do things just because they think they should do them. Many people just don't think of what they're doing. And I'm not saying you should overthink things. Things sometimes come spontaneously and naturally, but I think there's always a part of, just analyzing and getting to know yourself. And I think it's a lie to think you're 100% something and that all you want is that one relationship. There should be more freedom and more flexibility and more diversity, and I think this place would be such a better place if we could work on that. I'm just saying I'm open to everything. I'm not saying I'm never going to be in a traditional relationship with a guy or a girl or anyone. I'm not saying I'm hoping to be or not hoping to be. I'm not saying I'm never gonna maybe have sex. I don't think I will, but never know what can happen. I'm not saying I'm not ready to compromise. I'm not saying I'm not saying anything because I don't know. I don't know. For now, I know, but when I meet someone, everything could change, and everything will depend on that person and the relationship that we have. And I like to be respected for that. I like this freedom that I give to my relationships and to the people that will enter my life, to be respected and not judged and treated as something bad or wrong or weird or bizarre, because sometimes it hurts. Okay, so I hope this video was interesting. It was a bit confusing, but the subject in itself is confusing. Hope you're doing so well, guys. So well, super well. And let me know what you think, and I will see you later.